Sometimes, the most powerful moments aren't loud. They don't come with breaking news alerts. They don't arrive with dramatic headlines. Instead, they show up quietly, in a pause, in a look, in a few honest words spoken from the heart. Today, Mark Consuelos shared one of those moments, a moment that didn't demand attention, but earned it. Fans didn't rush to react. They listened. They felt, and many realized this was more than just another day on TV. This was a reminder of something deeper about gratitude, presence, and the importance of slowing down. Mark Consuelos has spent years in front of cameras. He knows how television works. He knows timing, tone, and delivery. But today felt different. There was no performance, no script-driven emotion, no attempt to impress. Instead, there was a calm honesty, the kind that feels personal, even when shared publicly. As he spoke, viewers noticed something subtle. His words were simple, measured, thoughtful, and that simplicity made them powerful. This wasn't about headlines, it was about meaning. Fans didn't react because they were told to. They reacted because they recognized something real. Many people watching saw themselves reflected in that moment, the quiet strength of someone who has lived, learned, and grown. There was no rush to explain everything, no need to justify feelings. Just presence. In a world where everything moves fast, that calm presence stood out, and fans felt it. Mark didn't raise his voice. He didn't over-explain. He chose words carefully, words that carried weight without pressure. Sometimes it's not what is said, but how it's said. And today, his tone mattered. It reminded people that emotional moments don't have to be overwhelming to be meaningful. They can be gentle. They can be steady. They can feel safe. Mark Consuelos has never chased attention for attention's sake. Throughout his career, he has built trust through consistency, showing up, doing the work, staying grounded. That consistency is why moments like today resonate. When someone known for stability speaks from the heart, people listen because it feels earned.
One thing fans noticed wasn't a word, it was a pause. A brief moment of silence. And in that silence, something important happened. People leaned in. Silence, when used honestly, speaks louder than noise. And today, that silence carried respect. This moment proved something important. Emotion doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be heavy. It doesn't have to shock. It can simply be sincere. That's why advertisers stay comfortable. That's why viewers stay engaged. That's why the message travels further.
At its core, today's moment felt rooted in gratitude. Gratitude for the present, for the people around us, for the chance to pause and reflect. Mark didn't say everything, but he didn't need to. The feeling was clear. Right now, many people feel overwhelmed, distracted, pulled in different directions. A moment like this reminds us that it's okay to slow down, to speak gently, to listen fully, to be present. And that reminder came at the right time. Viewers responded with warmth, not noise. Messages weren't rushed. Reactions weren't extreme. They were thoughtful. That says everything. There is strength in calm, confidence in gentleness. Today, Mark Consuelos showed that strength doesn't need volume, it needs honesty. As the moment slowly came to an end, something unusual happened. There was no rush to move on, no need for louder words or bigger reactions. Instead, there was a pause, the kind that lets feelings settle. Mark Consuelos didn't try to turn this moment into something dramatic. He didn't frame it as a headline. He simply allowed it to exist. And that, in itself, felt meaningful. In a world where so much of what we see is rushed and overstated, this quiet sincerity stood out. It reminded people that not every important moment needs explanation. Some moments are meant to be felt, not analyzed. For many watching, this wasn't just about what was said. It was about how it was said, with care, with balance, and with respect for the audience. That tone created space to reflect, space to breathe, space to recognize that calm emotions can be just as powerful as loud ones. Mark's presence carried a quiet confidence, the kind that comes from experience, consistency, and gratitude. There was no urgency in his words, only intention. And intention is something people can feel. As the broadcast continued, viewers carried that feeling with them. It didn't fade quickly. It lingered. Some may have found themselves thinking about their own lives, the conversations they've been meaning to have, the moments they've rushed past, the people they sometimes forget to pause for. This wasn't a message asking for attention. It was a reminder to give attention to the present moment, to the people around us, and to ourselves. That's why this moment resonated so deeply, because it reflected something universal, the desire to slow down without falling behind, to stay grounded without stepping away, to feel connected without being overwhelmed. Mark Consuelos didn't offer answers. He didn't try to define what the moment meant for everyone else. He simply showed up honestly. And sometimes, honesty is enough. As viewers moved on with their day, this moment quietly followed them, not as noise, but as a gentle reminder. A reminder that sincerity still matters, that calm voices can still be heard, that presence can be more powerful than performance. In a media world that often rewards extremes, this moment chose balance, and balance is rare. Perhaps that's why people are still talking about it, not because it demanded attention, but because it earned trust. At the end of the day, moments like this don't try to change everything. They simply shift perspective, just enough to make the day feel different. And sometimes, that's more than enough. So as this chapter closes, one thing remains clear. Today wasn't about a big reveal or a dramatic turn. It was about a shared human moment, quiet, sincere, and thoughtfully given. Mark Consuelos shared a heartfelt moment today, and in doing so, reminded many people that slowing down isn't falling behind, it's choosing to be present. And presence, in the end, is what stays with us long after the moment has passed. Blue.